Greetings, everybody. Good afternoon. It is Steve Lookner with Agenda Free TV. Well, on YouTube, it's Agenda Free TV 2. So we are here to bring you some live news coverage. We're going to be taking your comments on the air as well. You can write to me during the broadcast. At Lookner on Twitter is where to reach me with your comments and questions. And a big thank you to all of our moderators. Hold on a second here. A big thank you to all of our moderators for being in our chat rooms. I appreciate it, moderators. Thank you. So I think the big question everybody is wondering today is, when will we see President Trump's pardons? So at some point today or tonight, it is expected that President Trump will announce his pardons. He's already made some pardons, but he has until noon tomorrow to do it. But it's expected he'll pardon a bunch of people tonight, or today. Could be in 5 minutes from now. If it happens during the stream, we'll probably go to it. We'll probably do a separate stream on it, on Agenda Free TV. But that is something people are waiting for, pardons. So we will see. President Trump has also released a farewell video. I'm not going to play it. I skipped through it. I skipped through it a little bit. I didn't see anything particularly noteworthy. But if I hear of something particularly noteworthy, I'll pass it along. But I'm not going to really. If you want to watch it, it's posted on YouTube, White House YouTube or something. KickSave says, why are there two channels on YouTube? KickSave, allow me to direct you to this video. Allow me to direct you to a video on Agenda Free TV. If you go here, if you go to Agenda Free TV, right, and you type in channel, look, introducing Agenda Free TV 2. There's a whole video explaining it. So if you want to know why there's two channels, watch this entire hour-long video talking about it on YouTube. There you go, on Agenda Free TV. And that will answer your question. Okay. Here is, speaking of pardons, I just saw this from Sarah Cook. A source familiar confirms to CBS News that President Trump has considered issuing pardons to Rudy Giuliani and Steve Bannon. He's been cautioned against doing so, but as always, the final decision is up to him. Now, this is from Sarah Cook. She says, multiple sources confirmed to CBS News that as of now, President Trump is not expected to issue any preemptive pardons for himself or any members of his family, but again, he makes the final call. President Trump can pardon people. Well, he is a president. He can pardon people for federal crimes. You don't have to have been charged with the crime yet. So he could say, I'm pardoning John Smith from Lincoln, Nebraska for any federal crime he has committed up till this point. He is allowed to do that. But you can't pardon people for future crimes. But you can pardon them for crimes they have not been charged with yet. So will he pardon any members of his family or himself? We'll have to see. But that is some reporting from Sarah Cook. I don't have any idea whether he's going to. I mean, he could. He could pardon. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't really have a strong feeling either way. Shelley says, I believe President Trump's speech should be shown on your channel. So I'm going to replay a speech for 20 minutes. I'm going to play a 20-minute speech. Why? You can just watch it. Why should I play it on my channel? Do I play all of Biden's speeches nonstop? No. Why would I pay a 20-minute speech? That's likely to have nothing, as far as I've heard, there's nothing particularly noteworthy in there or new. So it's just a political speech by somebody making a political case for how great they were. Why do I want to play that on my channel? Why is that newsworthy? Doesn't sound very newsworthy to me. So we'll see what happens with the pardons. Oh, Don Sutton died. That stinks. That's too bad. Don Sutton passed away. Baseball Hall of Famer Don Sutton died. Darren Sutton posted, this is from Bob Nightingale, retweeted Darren Sutton, saddened to share that my dad passed away in his sleep last night. He pitched for the Dodgers for many years. I don't remember if it's many years. Dodgers and Angels, I remember him. Well, that sucks. Condolences to his family. Okay. History Underfoot said, military guy arrested for plotting to blow up 9/11 memorial in NYC. You know, I saw that story, and that's one of those stories where sometimes somebody gets arrested for some kind of plot, and, you know, I don't know how serious it was, so I don't like to emphasize these things. If somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing, plots to do something, I feel like there's a risk when you emphasize those things that it sounds like, oh my gosh, it was really close to happening. So I believe he was talking to some law enforcement about it, like undercover law enforcement. I mean, I'll mention it, but See, you read the headline, you're like, oh my gosh, U.S. soldier arrested in plot to blow up 9/11 memorial. And you think like he's got a truck full of bombs or something. But I remember reading the story this morning. What did it say? The 20-year-old soldier thought he was communicating with the Islamic State online about terrorism plots. Unbeknownst to him, an FBI employee was in on the chat. As Bridges provided details, instructions on tactics and manuals and advice about attacking the memorial, and other targets in New York City. So yeah, it's certainly not good that somebody, and in particular a soldier, was plotting with this. But I don't want to just make it sound like this thing was about to happen. Fortunately, the person with whom he communicated was an FBI employee. According to the criminal complaint, at some point he began researching and consuming online propaganda promoting jihadists and their violent ideology. He began communicating in October with an FBI employee who posed as an Islamic State group supporter in contact with the group's fighters in the Middle East. Okay, so anyways, I don't want to make people think there was this truck of explosives outside the 9/11 memorial. I mean, it's certainly concerning, but once in a while we see these kind of stories. Thank you for mentioning it, History Underfoot. So again, whatever happened in the Poconos with those shootings? I got to check on that. I think one of the biggest things going on today is President Trump is expected to come out with his pardons today. And so we don't know when that's going to be. No idea. Oh, I didn't hear this. By the way, thanks to our moderators. We have Angel Shark, Sarah Joy, Nightbot, thank you. Also, our Periscope moderators. Texas Legends Brian is there. Thank you, Texas Legends Brian, for moderating. Thanks also to our Facebook and Twitch moderators. Racing Neophyte and Traveling Skinny, moderating in Twitch. Thank you. Please do not post misinformation in the chat. If you do, you will be timed out and eventually hidden. Okay, I want to show you this. Oh, sorry. First of all, thank you. Krista Borden is our new moderator in Facebook. Thank you, Krista. And Bud Green is moderating as well. Thank you, Bud Green and Roxanne Betke. Thanks so much. Okay, so what I want to do is, hold on a second here. First of all, I'm going to get this person out of here, this nutty person out of the chat. Goodbye. Marius says, is the YouTube stream not working? The YouTube stream is working fine, but it's on Agenda Free TV 2. There are 2 YouTube channels. This is on Agenda Free TV 2. That's where it is. Agenda Free TV 2 on YouTube. There are 2 channels on YouTube. 2. Agenda Free TV 1, Agenda Free TV 2. This is on Agenda Free TV 2. We do our news roundups on Agenda Free TV 2. Hey, so last night, I didn't even, I saw this last night about how a number of people had gotten shot in the Poconos. And I forgot to check up and see what the deal was. Now, I'm just seeing this, 10 Philadelphia, mistaken identity leads to multiple shootings in the Poconos. At least 5 people have been charged in connection with a series of shootings in Pennsylvania's Pocono Mountains that left 4 people wounded. These shootings occurred Monday night in different areas of Coolbaugh Township. Some of the victims apparently were victims of mistaken identity. Authorities lifted shelter-in-place orders after a string of shootings that police said appeared to be rooted in a case of mistaken identity, left 4 people injured. Let's see here. 5 people ranging from 16 to 22 were in a Volvo when they spotted a black Mercedes leaving the community. The people in the car believed the Mercedes to belong to someone they had a beef with, so they cut off their Mercedes and opened fire. The drivers of each car took off on Route 196, the Volvo trailing the Mercedes. Wow. The Mercedes then pulled into a shopping center when 2 people in the Mercedes got out and began firing back at the Volvo. This is just a mess. Then people got back in the Volvo and drove to Ledgewood Drive, where they opened fire on a home they believed to be connected to the Mercedes. 2 people inside the home were shot. They never saw it coming. Oh my gosh. What a mess this is. Okay, anyways, that's kind of crazy. It looks like a bunch of innocent people got shot who weren't even involved because of mistaken identity. I don't even have the energy to read through that again and make sense of the whole thing. Anyways, if you were wondering what happened there last night, that's what happened. I forgot to check. Uncle Creepy says that doesn't sound like the Poconos. Here's another article, 69 News. 5 charged in string of mistaken identity shootings in Poconos community. The police chief said, what we learned is this is really all started with it as a mistaken identity. People in a Volvo saw a Mercedes starts driving away. They thought somebody in the Mercedes was somebody they had past problems with. So they started firing at the Mercedes. The Mercedes, I guess, fired back. People in the Mercedes fired back. Ugh, what a mess. All right, anyways. CRT, it says, sounds like they got all the shooters. The article said they didn't believe there was a threat to the community anymore. Okay. Give me a shout if you have comments, questions, updates at Lookner on Twitter. Yeah, some people are mentioning the National Guard story. That's another one of these stories where I think you need to be careful. The story was like some National Guard members had been pulled off their duty at the inauguration, and I remember from what I read, it said something like some of them had maybe posted. Some of them maybe had ties to fringe groups or posting links, posting stuff related to extremist groups. Here's the actual story. Yeah. So look, you got to be careful though. It's like, because you can read the headline and say, "Oh my gosh, 12 National Guard troops were planning on sabotaging the inauguration." That's not what the story says. So this says, this is the New York Times, 12 National Guard troops removed from inaugural protection, 2 for possible links to extremist groups. 12 National Guard troops have been removed from duties related to the inauguration, 2 of them for possible links to right-wing extremist movements. The 2 made inappropriate comments or said inappropriate texts. Another 10 were flagged for reasons unrelated to recent events in the Capitol. Officials declined to provide any details about the vetting that detected the Guard members who are from different states. So I just want to be careful here. It's not like they've uncovered a plot to sabotage the inauguration. Nicole Wilson says, yes, I read it was out of an abundance of caution. The Pentagon is intensifying efforts to identify and combat white supremacy and other far-right extremism in its ranks as federal investigators seek to determine how many military personnel and veterans joined the violent assault on the Capitol. Yeah, they don't want anyone causing trouble with the inauguration. That's the basic idea. Federal officials are vetting thousands of National Guard troops arriving to help secure the inauguration. Defense Department officials say they are looking into stepping up the monitoring of social media postings from service members in much the way companies do with their employees. Yeah, Momo says, hope nothing bad happens. Yes, let's hope tomorrow all goes off safely. Certainly there's a lot of security there, a ton. Over 25,000 National Guard troops in Washington, D.C. right now. Oh, Joe Biden is about to host a vigil at Lincoln Memorial for COVID victims. Idea to go says, seems important to monitor loyalty, but scary, read the balance, safety versus thought police. Yeah, I mean, look, it's obviously if somebody's posting on their social media that they're threatening violence against the president, you wouldn't want them working the inauguration. But, you don't want to, at the same time, you don't want to just blanket exclude people for, political views if those political views aren't going to be threatening anyone. So, it's a balance. Sue Baker who's from Hawaii, says Hawaii National Guard and more were joining the effort. John Gussie says the limo is ready. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some social media posts how there's a limo outside the Tiger King prison. I've seen no reporting that Joe Exotic is going to get a pardon from President Trump. Annie Vogler says this stretch limo just arrived at the Fort Worth prison where Tiger King Joe Exotic is expected to be released if he receives a presidential pardon. So look, I mean, to me, it's possible that if you're Joe Exotic or in Joe Exotic's team, maybe you just hire this limo. What does it cost you, like $500? Maybe you think, oh, President Trump will see it on TV and think, oh, I should pardon him. So I wouldn't take this as any kind of evidence he's getting pardoned. My guess is that, Annie Vogler says this is the scene outside his lawyer's office, not at the prison. We have cameras at both scenes, though. Okay. So, I've heard no reporting that he's going to get pardoned. Could he? Sure. But I would think that this is more his team hiring it to maybe as a way to get attention. Narichi says, I wonder if Trump is aware. I have no idea. Joe Exotic is the star of this reality show, one of the stars of this reality show on Netflix from like a year ago called Tiger King, which was very possible. Nicole Wilson said it would be an odd pardon. I don't know that Joe Exotic has any kind of connection to President Trump. I don't know if anybody in President Trump's inner circle is lobbying for Joe Exotic to get pardoned. Our viewer Wave Sharper says, why would he even bother with a lunatic Netflix personality that abuses tigers? I'm guessing Joe Exotic would disagree with your claim about abusing tigers, but that's what Wave Sharper says. Arlene says, I don't care if Tiger King gets out or stays in, just don't want insurgents getting pardoned. I would be shocked if President Trump pardoned any of the people who were at the rally, who were at the riot. He could, but I would be utterly shocked. When will it be? I wonder when will President Trump release the pardons? I assume it'll be today or tonight, but will it be at like 11 at night? Like, what's the theory? You want to do it as late as possible? I mean, you could do it at 3 in the morning, too. Lisa Renee says, I wish the pardon announcement would hurry along. History Underfoot thinks they are holding back on charges of rioters or pardons of rioters until afternoon tomorrow. Steve says, I heard he would pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, who is indicted for helping Jeffrey Epstein abuse underage girls. I'd be pretty shocked if that happened. But, I mean, he used to be friends with Epstein, so. But, C. Michelle Sparks says, will we even see the list? Well, you'll see it, I mean, if he were to say pardon himself or his family, that pardons don't have to be made public. If they're used, they have to be made public. They don't have to be made public. So, but, you know, if it's not somebody, if it's going to have some practical effect, like if somebody's going to get out of jail because of a pardon, you're going to have to know about the pardon. They're not going to just let them walk out of jail and not tell you why. So, but the president does not have to publicize pardons. Oh, if the person talking about charges, yeah, I don't know if the person talking about charges was saying they'll wait until after Trump leaves office. Yeah, the president can pardon people, as some of our chatters are saying, like Frisco. The president can pardon people preemptively. You can pardon people for things they might be charged for that they've already done. President Trump could literally say, I pardon anyone who's at the riot for any federal charges stemming from the riot. Rochelle expects a Ghislaine Maxwell pardon. Carly May says if he pardons Ghislaine Maxwell, even his loyal followers would riot. Ten Ken has an interesting thought. Ten Ken says he will do it in the morning to drown out Biden coverage. Yes, 13 Shooks. He has until noon tomorrow to pardon people. Oh, I guess there's a fire going on. There's some wind, some high winds. I want to say in Southern California. News source LA says in Santa Clarita, LA County Fire responding to a large wind-driven brush fire just off the Oroncagua, currently 25 acres, 50 acres, 75 plus acres with potential for 500 plus, 30 to 45 mile an hour winds. That's from News Source LA. Keep an eye on that. I wonder if California Fire Scanner hasn't posted about it. They're usually good about posting about stuff. Oh, here it is. Maybe this is it. Towsley Fire, Copter 21, reporting 50 acres and light medium fuels with 30 mile an hour winds out of the northeast, gusting up to 60, potential for 500 acres, no structures threatened. So I'll let you know if there's any kind of big fire activity. This is a good account to follow for California fire stuff. CA Fire Scanner. Thirteen Shug says, what's the reason behind giving officials pardon privileges anyway? Well, I think the idea is the basic idea of giving the president pardon privileges in the Constitution is it's like a check on injustices. It is a check on the legislative branch. Like if somebody gets some sentence that the president feels is like super unjust. I mean, it can the pardon power can be abused. Hang on a second here. Brookings Institution, the pardon power and original intent. Let's see if I can find it here. I was just trying to find a summary about the original intent of the pardon power. Time says the real reason America's founding fathers gave presidents the power to pardon. Why do presidents have the pardoning power in the first place? It starts with, in part, Alexander Hamilton, who said in the Federalist Papers, without an easy access to exceptions in favor of unfortunate guilt, justice would wear a countenance too sanguinary and cruel. The idea is that the pardon provides checks and balances against the judiciary system. There has to be an out somewhere in the system. But the Constitution doesn't say why it has to be, why a president, it doesn't say a president has to use it for a particular reason. But the idea is just to have a check in case there's some kind of, massive injustice where somebody gets, sentenced, for example, to get some huge sentence for something that just seems terribly unjust. Hang on. Oh, we were just talking about this memorial. Scott Detrow says, the view from the Lincoln Memorial, where Biden and Harris will soon lead a memorial to the 400,000 Americans killed by COVID. Yeah, 13 Shugs. Presidents have definitely not always stuck to the original intent of pardoning. Shrubby says, shame they didn't put a limit on the pardon power originally. That memorial, I guess, is supposed to start soon. Okay, give me a shout if you have comments, questions, updates, you're hearing about new stories. At Lookner on Twitter is where you can reach me, at Lookner on Twitter. Maggie Haberman reports, we confirmed Caitlin Collins reporting that Trump had been asking about pardoning House GOP representatives and was warned against it. Also, some reporting here on the intense blowback that Trump's consideration of clemency for Silver was met with by New York Republicans. So there's been reporting saying that I think the report was that some GOP lawmakers had asked Trump for clemency over their role in the riot. Here, this is New York Times. Their reporting is that President Trump was warned by the White House counsel against granting clemency to Republican lawmakers who might be connected to the storming of the Capitol on January 6th. Advisors have also repeatedly told Trump that he should not issue preemptive pardons for members of his family because such a move could harm them in future litigation. But Trump has also started asking about pardons for House Republicans who were involved in the rally of the Trump supporters that preceded the deadly riot. It was unclear whether lawmakers had directly asked Mr. Trump for clemency that could avoid any prosecution, but advisors believe that someone had seeded Mr. Trump with the idea. So I guess the idea is somebody involved with the rally. In theory, they might face federal charges, I don't know, of inciting a riot or whatever it is. I don't know. No one's been charged. No lawmaker has been charged for that yet. Also, according to the New York Times, the New York Times says a last-minute spree of pardons and commutations was expected to be announced sometime before midnight. Sometime before midnight. Among the questions Trump repeatedly raised with officials on this morning was whether he should pardon Steve Bannon, his former chief strategist, who has been indicted on fraud charges in connection with a wall building project at the southwestern border. Officials said yesterday Mr. Bannon's chances had dimmed, but the president continued to go back and forth about it on Tuesday. Trump appeared to be ensuring that enough people were aware of the back and forth that Bannon would be made aware that the president had wanted to give him a pardon and that others did not support it. Another grant of clemency Trump is considering toward Sheldon Silver, the disgraced New York Assembly Speaker, was greeted with intense blowback from elected officials in the state. Mr. Silver, who ruled Democratic politics in New York with an iron fist for years, was convicted twice on corruption charges and sentenced and sent to prison last summer. Well, we'll have to see what happens. Uncle Creepy says Vegas has odds on his potential pardons. Is that true? Stephanie, yes. She said, did Obama ever use the pardoning ability? Yeah. I think pretty much all recent presidents have pardoned some people. And you can actually go look it up. Like, if you go to Wikipedia, a list of people pardoned or granted clemency by the President of the United States. Now, a lot of pardons and commutations by presidents are not for their, friends or political. A lot of them are intended to address injustices. But you can go through and read all of them here on Wikipedia. Carter, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama. Now, I know, for example, with Obama, a bunch of people, it says he pardoned, commuted, or rescinded the conviction of 1927 people. I believe a bunch of these, though, were people for drug offenses or something. Let's see. Yeah. So, of President Obama's acts of clemency, 1,715 were commutations and 212 were pardons. Most individuals granted executive clemency by Obama had been convicted on drug charges and had received lengthy and sometimes mandatory sentences at the height of the war on drugs. So, and for different presidents, there can be you can't just. It's not going to tell you much if you hear a president pardoned or commuted the sentence of X number of people. There can be different reasons they do it. So if you want, you can go back and look at the list here. I'm not familiar with all of this individual ones that he did. Then there's the one, then Trump is on the list too. But yeah, that's a common thing for presidents to do. Hey, thank you to Stephanie Martinez. I appreciate that. Thank you, Stephanie, for your support. Much appreciated. Also, thank you so much to Mark Anger. Hey, Mark, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Mark, for your support. Thank you, Mark. Rochelle says, I don't think Trump is doing anything for the sake of justice. Well, there was reporting out that said he might, I forget what it was, but that some of the pardons might be for, I forget, for like, here, let's see, here, look, right here. President Trump's final wave of pardons includes names pushed by criminal justice reform advocates. The list of pardons, the New York Times says the list of pardons that has been prepared for him to sign includes some names of people who have been serving life sentences for drug or fraud charges and who for years have been seeking clemency. Tuesday's group does include nonviolent offenders whose names have been percolating for years among advocates who believe their punishments never fit their crimes, and whose cases underscore the broken nature of a country's criminal justice system. So, if this reporting is correct, there will be some pardons among his final wave that would be, done for the sake of, for the genuine sake of righting an injustice, whereas others might be, people he has a personal connection to, or, someone he hopes could help him, that kind of thing. Hey, thank you, Dizzy Dale, for the sticker and your support. Thank you, Dizzy Dale. Much appreciated. Thank you also to The Princess, who says, I work in aerospace on an Air Force installation. Discussing politics is forbidden. I need my AFTV daily dose. Stray Bull says, someone selling weed shouldn't go to jail forever. Robert Carley says, a president can pardon any time he's in office, but they often wait till just before they leave office. Now, what is this here? Hang on a second here. Bill Abramson sent me a tweet from someone named Peter Kafka that noted that President Trump's announcement was on YouTube today. His farewell address, even though he is currently not allowed to post to his YouTube channel. And the reason is that the reason he's allowed to post on, the reason his speech is allowed to be on YouTube is that it's on the White House account. It's not on his personal account. That's the one that's suspended. Is that where it is? I thought that's where it was. Yeah, so the farewell address of today, if you look on YouTube, it's on the White House account. He's not allowed to post on Donald J. Trump at the moment. And as the tweet that I was sent pointed out, this White House account will go to the Biden when Biden takes over, as the Peter Kafka tweet pointed out. Same with the White House, with like the POTUS Twitter account. There are these social media accounts like White House on YouTube and at POTUS on Twitter, where that goes with whoever currently occupies the White House. I think Melania Trump today told people to follow her on her personal Twitter. Yeah, look. She said, please follow me at Melania Trump for future updates and announcements, because the FLOTUS account will go to Jill Biden once Biden takes office. Hey, thank you so much, MC, for your support. I appreciate that. Thank you, MC. Much appreciated. And thanks for the sticker, too. Thank you. Hang on one second here. Hang on one second. Let's see here. Give me one more second. There is a memorial going on right now at the Lincoln Memorial for COVID victims. I know they're showing that on some of the news channels. That wouldn't be like on the, Joe Biden, so you can also watch it at his, he posted it on his social media. So if you want to watch this memorial, you can go to like at Joe Biden. He's showing it. It's not being shown on like the White House social media because he's not president yet. So if they were to do something like this starting tomorrow, I'm guessing it would be on like the White House Twitter and the White House YouTube and stuff like that. But it's not because he's not president yet. Give me a shout at Lookner on Twitter. That's where you can reach me. Country sent me this. I didn't see this before. What is this? The Beverly Hills Salon owner has been arrested for taking part in the Capitol attack. Who is the Beverly Hills Gina Bisignano? I don't know who she is, though. There was a person arrested today who's a Beverly Hills doctor who's an anti-vaxxer. Here, this is an article. Beverly Hills salon owner Gina Bisignano, 2 others arrested for Capitol riots. Who is she? She owns Gina's Eyelashes and Skincare. Last week, she confirmed to the Beverly Hills Courier that she traveled to Washington, D.C., where she found herself among the mob that stormed the Capitol. In a video, a woman believed to be her holds a megaphone on a ledge of the Capitol and yells, "Everybody, we need gas masks, we need weapons, we need strong, angry patriots to help our boys. They don't want to leave. We need protection." That's from CBS Los Angeles. And then, no, the doctor's name was something Gold. Simone Gold. See Pilar Melendez. Simone Gold, a doctor, an outspoken critic of the COVID vaccine, and an advocate of hydroxychloroquine, among 3 Beverly Hills residents arrested this weekend in connection with riots. Beverly Hills doctor who pushed Trump's favorite COVID drug arrested in Capitol riots. That's Simone Gold right there. She is an outspoken critic of the vaccine. This is from Daily Beast. Simone Gold garnered national attention in July when she organized a press conference on the steps of the U.S. Supreme Court to condemn pandemic lockdowns and rave about how hydroxychloroquine works. It has never been shown to work for COVID-19. The Daily Beast points out in June, the FDA revoked its emergency authorization of hydroxychloroquine, saying the drug could actually do more harm than good because of its ongoing serious cardiac adverse events and other potentially serious side effects. Gold says she does regret being there, as her presence at the riots will distract from her work from America's Frontline Doctors, a group that's pushed misinformation about COVID and the vaccine. You can read more about this at Daily Beast. LMC says, was she the one who released the video of Pelosi without a mask? Oh, that salon owner? Was that the salon owner? No, she's in Beverly Hills. The Pelosi salon thing was in the Bay Area, not in Southern California. Lou Sykes says many North Texans arrested as well. Again, there is a memorial going. Is it a memorial, a vigil going on right now at the Lincoln Memorial for the 400,000 people who have Americans who have died from COVID. You can see right there. That is a shot. You can actually go to Joe Biden on Twitter and watch it if you want. So that's going on right now. Okay, hang on a sec here. Hey, thanks for the Facebook stars. I owe some thank yous. Janet McLaughlin, thank you so much, Janet. Thank you, Tony Rayner, who says, save your energy for tomorrow. Thank you, Tony. Much appreciated. Thank you, Manuel Castillo, for your support. Thank you, Beth Kennedy, so much. Thank you, Beth. Thank you so much, Alicia Rivera. Thank you. Kathy Van Pelt. Thank you, Kathy. Laverne Thompson. Thank you so much. Laverne Thompson, thank you. Cicero says Steve needs to read the article about Taco Bell worker being fired for working in adult films. You know, I read the article. It's a difficult situation. It's somebody who had done adult film work of some sort. Maybe I don't know if it was online or in what sense. And then she got a job at Taco Bell. And then she told them about her past work, and they said it's fine. And then I believe a customer found out and started saying that they wouldn't come there anymore. And they ultimately let her go. But it's one of these things where, you know, you on the one hand feel bad for the person who's just trying to make some money and told their employer, you know, about their past. And, you know, on the other hand, I understand the business saying, well, if people are going to stop coming here because you're working here, then it's going to hurt our business. So it's a difficult situation. The article was it in Daily Beast? I read it this morning. Yeah, it says she was fired from Taco Bell for being in porn. But, you know, I don't think it was just that they found out and fired her. I think it was because somebody complained. She was fired when a customer complained. She was terminated from the only Taco Bell in Newport, Arkansas, a small town of less than 8,000 people. But the story is that when she asked what she had done wrong after she was told she was being fired, the person claimed a customer had lodged a formal complaint that there was a woman working the drive-thru who was doing internet porn, and as a God-fearing Christian, they didn't feel comfortable giving the establishment their business. So it's hard because on the one hand, you know, you want her to be able to work and make some money at this job. On the other hand, I mean, if the customers for the business say we're not going to go there, I understand the business's point of view too, so it's a difficult situation. Robert Carley said, how did the person who complained know about her work? I don't remember if it's said in the story. I don't remember everything in the story. For the past 3 years, her work has been featured on different sites and she's gotten award nominations. So I guess she's a prominent figure in that world to some degree. There is very little legal recourse for her. The state law allows the employer or the employee to end the employment relationship at any time for any reason or for no reason at all. The only exceptions are firing an employee on the basis of age, sex, religion, national origin, disability, or genetic information, or if a woman is pregnant or had an abortion. Also in the state of Arkansas, all consensual sex work is outlawed. Anyways, so it's a tough situation. You can read that at Daily Beast. Jeff said they would fire her over one customer. Well, I don't know if it's just going to be one customer. I mean, she did say at the end it's a small town. She said, I live in such a small place so everyone knows everybody's business. So for all you know, they figured that like the whole customer base would know and care about it, you know? So it's just a tough situation. Her name, by the way, is mentioned in there. It's Lana Wells. Lana Wells. Amber says now she'll never be able to find wholesome work. It's not like she was making, I don't know what kind of good money. She says not like she was making good money at Taco Bell. Stray Bull points out maybe she could move to a different state and employers might be more willing to, there's less of a chance of that happening. In case you didn't hear it last night, also, Riley June Williams got arrested. The woman who allegedly stole a laptop from Nancy Pelosi's office and wanted to sell it to Russian intelligence. That happened last night. Have any updates on that? Women investigated for allegedly stealing computer from Nancy Pelosi's office to give to Russia surrenders to authorities. CBS News. Her Williams' former romantic partner called the FBI multiple times in the days following the riots to report they had seen her in videos inside the Capitol. That's happened multiple times where former romantic partners called in. The partners said friends of Williams had shown them a video of her taking the laptop, computer, or hard drive from Speaker Pelosi's office during the riots. The witness told the FBI Williams intended to send the computer device to a friend in Russia who then planned to sell the device to the SVR, Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service, but the witness also said the plan fell through for unknown reasons. Adding that Williams either still has the device or she destroyed it. So I don't know what the deal is with the laptop. I don't know if she really had good connections in Russia, but she has been arrested. Jason Russell says, how many exes wouldn't jump on the opportunity of saying your ex is guilty of treasonous espionage? Muranchi says, did she have the laptop or was that made up? Well, I haven't seen it confirmed that she had that laptop. The article said that somebody who knew her saw a video of her with a laptop. Her former romantic partner allegedly said friends of Williams had shown them a video of her taking a laptop, computer, or hard drive from Speaker Pelosi's office during the riots. So who knows if she had it and whose it was. Melissa Ray said, such a dumb thing to do. She wasted her life. Rochelle says, I think it's an incredibly difficult decision to turn in someone who you loved. There's also people who reported family members. Misty Blue says there was an article out saying they didn't confirm a laptop was even stolen. I haven't heard any confirmation about it. C-SPAN posted this image from the memorial that they just had, or they're having, for the Americans who died of COVID. Shug says, if I saw a family member, I would report them, no question. I think I would too, if they weren't going to report themselves. I mean, probably be upsetting to do, but... update on pardons. Maggie Haberman with the New York Times says, in a White House where almost nothing is decided until past the time originally planned, and things get undone and redone repeatedly until announced, the president has gone back and forth about whether to pardon Steve Bannon, his former campaign strategist. He seemed at time to want to let it be known that he was leaning towards pardoning Bannon and that the White House advisors wanted to block it, therefore making him less to blame with Bannon and allies if he doesn't grant clemency. I think he will. I think he'll grant a pardon to Bannon because Bannon helped him become president. He played such a big role in his getting elected in 2016. Also, reportedly, Trump has been talking to Bannon lately. It just seems to me like he's... if I had to bet, I'd bet on him pardoning Bannon. I wonder if the... I want to check. I want to say, does Predicted have the online betting site? Do they have different gambling lines on people getting pardoned? Predicted. Pardon. There is a line on Trump's self-pardon. There's a line on Giuliani pardon. Well, no, that's 2020. The only active market for pardons at Predicted looks to be this line on, will Trump pardon himself? And it's interesting. Let's see. Price. So the odds were about 50-50 on Trump pardoning himself a week ago. It was roughly speaking 50-50. And now the odds greatly favor no. There's been reporting out there that he's not going to do it. So that's Predicted. Also, this is an interesting one. Will Trump complete his first term? 30 days. So will Trump complete his first term? So the odds were greatly in his favor, were greatly for him completing his first term. Then look what happened on January 6th. After the riot, the odds went down from 90 cents to 70 cents, but then they went back up. So obviously, this is how much you bet to get $1 back. So you're paying 98 cents to get $1 back. So you're winning like a cent back or 2 cents back or something. If somebody will take your bet. But that's interesting. One of our viewers mentioned that there were Vegas lines on pardons, but I haven't seen them. This is an article from Sports Betting Dime from December that talks about pardon odds. I don't know where these odds are from, though. Anyways, feel free to message me a list of odds if you find a current one. Baby Shark says Pelosi said in an interview they took her laptop. No, Joe Exotic has not been pardoned. Misty Blue says, don't they sometimes pardon people who aren't even alive anymore to clear their name? So a pardon is not an expunging of the charge. If you pardon somebody, if they've been charged, they're still charged. No, if they've been convicted, there's still a conviction on their record. A pardon removes any kind of sanction. Also, it's a recognition by the president that the person has, I believe, atoned. That's supposed to be part of it. But it doesn't remove a conviction. A couple of people said, can you pardon a dead person? I don't really know. I don't know how that works constitutionally. I don't know if it's been tried. But it wouldn't really have a practical effect in terms of, obviously, the person would not, if they're not alive, they're not receiving any kind of punishment for their crime. If somebody has a site that just time until inauguration. Countdown until inauguration. Look. There's that from timeanddate.com. Angel Sark says, I think you can pardon the dead. I could be wrong. Called a posthumous pardon. Justice Department is the general policy of the Department of Justice not to accept for processing applications for applications for posthumous pardons for federal convictions. Notwithstanding the department's policy, there have been a few instances in which presidents have pardoned persons known to be deceased at the time clemency was granted. Okay, so you can do it. Hang on 1 second here. Hang on 1 sec. Just 1 second here. Oh, by the way, thank you to Leviathan Rising for your support. I appreciate that, Leviathan Rising. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Hey, give me 1 minute. I'm going to be right back in 1 minute, and we'll continue our live coverage in 1 minute. All right, we're back. We are back. Thank you for your patience. I wanted to show you something else. Hang on. Can't see the actual story, so I can't show it to you because I want to be positive what the story says. All right, forget what I just said. I just saw this. At least 19 Capitol police officers are said to have either tested positive for the virus or were found to have, through contact tracing, to have been exposed. Well, I wonder how many have tested positive and how many have been exposed. Let's see here. Where does it say it? Where is the story? Where is it? I don't see the story anywhere. I mean, it seems like a bit of a different story to me if you have 2 officers test positive and 17 are exposed, or 17 tested positive and 2 more are exposed. So I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm guessing some people got the virus that day. That's from New York Times. Rita sent me this. Yeah, I saw this before. I don't really know what the deal with this is. Abel Iraola said that Baptist Health, SF, and they are this is a South Florida healthcare organization, sent out an email saying your appointment to receive the first dose of the COVID vaccine at Baptist Health has been canceled due to uncertainty of vaccine supply. We have not received our allocation of first dose vaccines for this coming week and beyond. So I don't know if this is like a bigger thing, or maybe it's just an issue with this individual healthcare provider. I just don't know. I don't have any reporting on it. I don't know if Ben Conark from the Miami Herald has reported on it. Yeah, Baptist Health announced due to restraints on their vaccine supply, all first dose vaccinations booked for January 20th and later are canceled. No new appointments will be taken. Story will be updated. So this is going to be a paywall article, so I can't read that. So I don't know that this is happening in other places or just one place. Certainly, it'd be a big story if it starts happening in a lot of places. Imseti says, we've had the same thing at my hospital too. It's why I don't know if I'll be getting my first shot on Thursday. I think it's a national issue. Thank you, Imseti, and thanks for your support, Imseti. Judy Truitt says, it's common. Our rural health clinic is suddenly without vaccine, Southwest New Mexico. I don't know to what degree that is happening around the country. So, for example, here's a link to an article I just found from Detroit News. And this one says, vaccine shortage delays, Henry Ford, Wayne County COVID vaccinations due to shortage of vaccine. These hospital systems got fewer doses than expected. But again, I don't know to what degree this is a countrywide issue and the reasoning for it and stuff. So it's something I'll certainly be looking at. See, Reuters had an article 4 days ago. Reuters posted this: scattered vaccine shortages halt some COVID inoculations. Anyway, so. Seize the Day mentioned Canada. Toronto Star posted this yesterday, 3 provinces pausing first dose vaccinations over a Pfizer shortage. There is a shortage of Pfizer vaccines there. Provinces are reviewing their vaccine programs to contend with a reduced supply of Pfizer-BioNTech doses after the company said last week it was cutting back on promised deliveries over the next month as it works to expand production. Misty Blue says Ontario, Canada is now delayed due to shipment issues. Frida Smith says there's a Pfizer shortage all over the world. Well, there's definitely a shortage in the sense that demand way outstrips supply. But it sounds like maybe some places thought they were getting more, and then they didn't. Mergem sent me this from B&O Newsroom. Germany reports first suspected death from COVID reinfection. Germany has reported the first suspected death from COVID reinfection. A local government spokeswoman confirmed this after B&O News received a tip over the weekend which said a man had died from a reinfection. This is a person who first tested positive on April 4th and recovered with no apparent signs of long COVID. He developed new symptoms on New Year's Eve. Now, I don't know. The thing about this, though, is it doesn't look like right now. From the story right here, so this is from B&O's Newsroom, and they're certainly very reliable. But you can see it says suspected death from reinfection. So it's suspected, I believe, because it looks, there's no information here about the virus being genomically sequenced. So I don't know that they ever actually figured which strain this person had. Most times people get the virus, the vast majority of times, they don't figure out exactly what strain you have. But to confirm somebody's been reinfected, you'd want to see that they had different strains. I think that's the usual way they do it, is they figure out that there's different strains of the virus you've got both times. So we'll see if we hear anything more about that. That's from B&O Newsroom. Thanks, Mergem, for sending that in. Hang on 1 second here. Oh, also, Chris Renfield sent me this. Chris Renfield sent me this. I hadn't seen this. YouTube bans Trump for another week over inauguration violence concerns. YouTube said it is extending a one-week ban on outgoing U.S. President Donald Trump uploading videos or live streaming to his channel for at least an additional 7 days. Okay. That's from Reuters. Hey, thanks, by the way, Angel Shark. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you, Angel Shark. Much appreciated. Thanks for the stickers as well. And thank you so much, SB. Hey, really appreciate your support, SB. Thank you, SB. That's very kind of you. You are watching our live news coverage here on Agenda Free TV. Well, on YouTube, it's Agenda Free TV 2. On YouTube, we have 2 news channels. If you've never watched this channel before, my main news channel on YouTube is called Agenda Free TV. Just Agenda Free TV. That's this channel. Agenda Free TV. That's where we do like single news stories. When we're doing kind of news roundup kind of things, we do them usually on Agenda Free TV 2. So if you like Agenda Free TV 2, this channel, subscribe. But also you might want to check out Agenda Free TV. If you're on one of the other platforms, it's just all Agenda Free TV. So make sure you subscribe. Also, if you want to make sure you get notified when we're coming on the air on all my channels, so you don't miss any breaking news, best way to do that is to sign up for the Discord notifications. We have Discord notifications set up. It's easy to sign up. It's free. And if you sign up, you get the notifications whenever we're coming on the air. Also, if you have the Discord app on your phone, it pops up on your phone. So that's a great way to make sure you don't miss any broadcasts. The link to the Discord notifications is at the bottom of the YouTube video description, and also the moderators can post that link as well. And also, a reminder, I do have a Twitter for Agenda Free TV where I do post whenever we're about to come on the air. That's at Agenda Free TV. It's another way to get notified when we're coming on the air. All right. No news on pardons yet. We're waiting for pardons sometime tonight. Who knows when it will be? Linda Birdbike says, why do you have 2 news channels? Well, as I said to someone who asked me the same question earlier in the stream, if you go to Agenda Free TV, you will find an hour-long video called Introducing Agenda Free TV 2, Second Channel More Coverage. So I would direct you to that video on Agenda Free TV, and you can watch, and you will get an answer to your question, why do I have 2 news channels? Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. I have too much open on my desktop right now. Too much open. Travis Hall thinks the pardons will be announced 1 minute before inauguration to steal the limelight. Okay, hang on one sec here. Sorry, I'm just going through some news updates here. Excuse me. In terms of the schedule for tomorrow, let's see. I haven't looked at like a current schedule here. NBC News says Viewer's Guide to the Inauguration Day. What's happening? Biden and Harris will be sworn in shortly after noon Eastern time, and then Biden will deliver his first presidential address. At night, he is foregoing the traditional inaugural balls because of the pandemic, and he will instead take part in a television event called Celebrating America. Obama, Bush, and Clinton are all set to attend, as are former First Ladies Michelle Obama, Laura Bush, and Hillary Clinton. Jimmy Carter, 96, will not be there, but sent his best wishes. Trump will be the first president to skip his successor's inauguration since Andrew Johnson in 1869. Mike Pence will be there. The event is expected to begin around 11 a.m. in the west front of the Capitol. The proceedings will begin with an invocation by a Jesuit priest who's a friend of the Biden family. There will be the Pledge of Allegiance. Lady Gaga will sing the national anthem. There will be a poem read. J-Lo will perform. Garth Brooks will perform. A pastor will deliver a benediction. The Chief Justice, John Roberts, will administer the oath of office just after the clock strikes 12. Kamala Harris will be sworn in by Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. The inaugural theme of Biden's address is America United. Many safety protocols will be in place because of the virus. Attendees will be socially distanced and they will have to wear masks. The traditional luncheon that follows the inaugural ceremony and the inaugural balls have been canceled. After the ceremony is completed, the swearing-in ceremony, Biden and Harris will take part in a pass-in review with members of the military on the east front of the Capitol. Pass-in reviews are a military tradition that honor the peaceful transfer of power to a new commander-in-chief, and every branch of the military will be represented. After the review, Biden, Harris, and their spouses will honor the military by going to the Arlington National Cemetery, where they will lay a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. There will be a virtual parade across America at 3:15 p.m., featuring performances from all 56 states and territories. Then there is a star-studded made-for-TV event called Celebrating America at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. There you go. There is your schedule. Linda Birdbike says she is excited. Hang on. Mira says, love Garth Brooks. No, pie oh my, Mike Pence will not be going to President Trump's. President Trump in the morning has a farewell event where he's flying out of D.C. And Mike Pence is not going there, reportedly. Here, look, Sarah Cook. Vice President Pence is not expected to attend President Trump's farewell event. He has committed to he has committed to attending inaugural events, and the JBA event, the Joint Base Andrews event, would conflict with that, the official says. It sounds to me like he just doesn't want to go. Hey, thanks to the mods. We got Sarah55 and Mark Helton there moderating. Melissa Alicia. Angel Shark. Texas Legends Brian, thank you for moderating. Texas Legends Brian, thank you. Thanks also. Maddie Maggs, Racing Neophyte, Traveling Skinny Sully in Twitch. Thank you. Our Facebook moderators, Dan Lindquist is there. Thank you, Dan. Bud Green is there. I think Krista is there as well. Krista Borden. Thank you, Krista. Oh, thank you also, Manuel Castillo and Janet McLaughlin and everybody I thanked earlier for the Facebook stars. Nicole Wilson sent me this update here. So there was a certain batch of Moderna vaccine which they were looking at in California because fewer than 10 people at one vaccine site had gotten a severe allergic reaction. You can see Dr. Mark Galley says the severe allergic reaction to a specific lot of that vaccine was not known to have affected anyone beyond the fewer than 10 individuals. Maybe it was a problem at that location. State reviewing Moderna batch in question. Dr. Mark, this is from San Francisco Chronicle, hoping to move forward with it. Dr. Mark Galley said Tuesday the severe allergic reaction to a specific lot of the Moderna coronavirus vaccine was not known to have affected anyone beyond the fewer than 10 individuals that required medical attention. State officials recommended on Sunday that providers refrain from using that batch for now. The Vaccine Safety Committee is meeting today to determine if the lot is safe to use. Thank you, Nicole. I have no idea when these pardons are going to be announced. Paul Watson says, are you going to stream the inauguration? I don't know. I don't know. First of all, I have to see if I have access to any footage of it I can use. I can't steal like CBS News live stream, so I just don't know. I'm not going to be streaming the whole ceremony, I don't think. So, but I don't know what footage will be out there. But I mean, it's a whole like hour-long thing with like songs and stuff. So I'm not going to be showing all that, even if I have footage. CNN is reporting that Trump was talked out of pardoning his kids. We'll see. Trump talked out of pardoning kids and Republican lawmakers. Jason Russell, I don't know if there's a public domain stream of that. Because if somebody puts their own cameras there, they own the footage. CNN says Trump was warned the pardons he once hoped to bestow upon his family and even himself would place him in a legally perilous position, convey the appearance of guilt, and potentially make him more vulnerable to reprisals. He was also warned that pardons for Republican lawmakers who had sought them for their role in the insurrection would anger the very Senate Republicans who will determine his fate in the upcoming impeachment trial. While Trump often discards advice he doesn't agree with, particularly coming from his lawyer, from the White House counsel, the message Saturday resonated. The conversation spooked Trump in a way few others have. A person familiar with his reaction told CNN, now Trump will... So we'll have to see. His final batch of pardons due later today is expected to contain few of the controversial or outlandish criminals that have characterized his earlier use of clemency powers. That's interesting. Trump could still change his mind and retains his sweeping powers, clemency powers, until noon on Wednesday. He continues to bring up pardons that aides once thought were off the table, including for former strategist Steve Bannon, leading to general uncertainty about whether Trump will continue adhering to his lawyer's advice. Yeah, so I have no idea. I mean, the reporting is we're seeing is suggesting like he won't pardon his family members, but we'll see. And himself, we'll see. Ultimately, it's up to Trump. When do you think he'll come out with the pardons? Perpetual now, C-SPAN is not public. C-SPAN is not free for anyone to use if you look at their terms of service. Let me know your thoughts. Hey, thanks, by the way, to Perpetual Now for the Super Hearts. I appreciate all the donations. That's what allows me to do News Channel 7 days a week. So thank you for all your support, because you are the ones who allow me to do this. If you do want to support the channel with a donation, you can always go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. I think the pardons are going to be when we end this stream and I'm about to eat something, because I'll need to eat. Right when I'm about to eat, that's when the pardons are going to come out. What is this? Oh, Rita's Real sent me this. Now, what is this, though? I don't know what this is. BidenInaugural.org. There's a site called BidenInaugural.org. But see, that's not necessarily public domain. That's not a government website. It's a .org. It's so I don't know that. Unless I see otherwise, I'm going to assume, like when Trump would have a rally and the Trump campaign would host the rally, you weren't legally allowed to just steal that footage. Yeah, the Presidential Inaugural Committee is showing it at bideninaugural.org/watch. But that's not government. They own that footage. Thank you, Rita, though. But that's not just something I can just, rebroadcast. If it was like the White House YouTube site, that's different. That's the government broadcasting it. No, History Underfoot, I don't think the White House YouTube channel will carry because he won't be president yet. Sunshine in Arizona says at this time tomorrow, Trump will no longer be president. Yeah, 18 hours. I don't know if the White House website will be carrying it. I just don't know. I don't know if they carried it last year. Last time, I don't think the White House was showing it in 2016. I don't think they were. I might be wrong about that, but I don't think they were. Oh, Angie is moderating too. Thanks, Angie, for moderating. Oh, this was, I didn't even know that this was going on until last night, the Field of Flags thing. DC, Fox 5, DC's National Mall lit up with Field of Flags. I didn't even know this until last night. On Monday, 200,000 flags were set up on the National Mall representing Americans who can't travel to the nation's capital for Inauguration Day. I'm guessing they didn't want to just have an empty mall. So, oh, here, look, they said we're installing, this was done by the Inauguration Committee, we're installing almost 200,000 state and territory flags that will cover the entire National Mall for Inauguration Day. Biden inaugural. Lisa Haney says, I like the Field of Flags. The only thing I don't like about it is creating garbage. Molly Nagel had posted, Biden inaugural lit 56 pillars of light, representing 56 states and territories to illuminate their Field of Flags display on the National Mall. The display includes nearly 200,000 U.S. flags meant to represent the American people not able to travel to the inauguration. It's hard to see, but it's all flags there. Let me check this as well. Hang on one second here. FBI put out a new photo page, looks like, I think. FBI is seeking the public's health in identifying those involved in assault on law enforcement. So more photos put out by the FBI. This is 35 minutes ago they posted this. Rick Hoppy says the flags won't end up as trash. People will take them home as souvenirs. History Underfoot says maybe the flags will be used later and not thrown out. Smart Girl says it is all unity theme. Little Boo Radley says hopefully the flags were made in the U.S. There you are, Perry. You are not allowed to just use PBS stuff for your own website. They own that. Not Cupcake says what people will take them home. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to distribute them to people. Now, I don't know. Hang on one second here. I don't know when the pardons are announced tonight. I don't know if it's going to be the kind of thing where they just send out, like, will there just be posted on the White House Twitter a list of pardons, or will it be leaked to news outlets before that? I just don't know. I mean, the whole pardon thing, it could just be like it could be like kind of like an in the sense of there might not be many big surprises. But if say President Trump were to like pardon rioters from January 6th, that would be an enormous story. So, and pardon himself or his family. So that could be a huge story, and it might not be that big a story when the pardons come out. Seize the day thinks they'll come tomorrow. And there could be pardons tonight and then some tomorrow too. You know what I wonder? I wonder if President Trump had Twitter, right? Because he's known to sometimes post impulsive tweets. I'm wondering if and also to like fire people by tweet. I'm wondering if Trump had Twitter, would there be more of a chance that he would just like on an impulse say, okay, I'm pardoning Steve Bannon, and just tweet it out. And then, then be committed to it. Because he's not coming out with statements throughout the day now. But if he just had Twitter, is there more of a chance of him just randomly saying who he's pardoning? Like, would he have posted it already on Twitter? At least some of them. Flowers said they could be a big nothing hamburger. I mean, not to the people who get them, but in the bigger sense. Karen Brody says yes, just for the attention he'd gain. I think, I'm not sure how it works, but it's possible that if he were to tweet out, if he still had his Twitter, if he tweeted out, I have pardoned Steve Bannon, would that in itself be enough for a pardon? Like by that very act, if he were to just post a tweet saying, I've pardoned Steve Bannon, would that be the pardon? Like, does he have to? I don't know that there's any kind of official procedure he has to go through. I think that in itself might be enough. Upstate Zach thinks it'll be 8 p.m. ET. I don't know, Flowers, if there's paperwork necessary. Hey, thank you, Brainy Janie. I don't know if there's paperwork he has to sign. Thank you, Brainy Janie. I appreciate that. History Underfoot says, I am sure Trump had Twitter withdrawals. See, Michelle Sparks says there's a pardon committee. There's a part of the Justice Department that deals with pardons, but President Trump doesn't have to go through them. He can just do it himself. And they don't have to be public. Hunter Walker says, I texted Rudy Giuliani on all his various phones to ask if he thinks he's getting a pardon. Now, I don't think Giuliani's been charged with anything yet, but the idea is that President Trump could preemptively pardon him for crimes he may have committed, federal crimes. Hunter Walker says, we'll let you all know if he responds. No, Karen Brody, it's entirely up to the president who he pardons. It's entirely up to him. Chris Stone says, I wonder if Trump will pardon Julian Assange, founder of WikiLeaks. So I don't believe Julian Assange is going to get deported from England to the USA or to get extradited because England has ruled, there's been a ruling in the UK, in England, that he can't be sent to the US. I think that's under appeal, though. But there was an initial court ruling like a week or two ago in England that said that they were not going to send Assange to the U.S. for trial. Yeah, see, judge blocks extradition of WikiLeaks founder to U.S. But I believe it's currently under appeal. The U.S. authorities have 14 days in which to lodge an appeal and are expected to do so. I'm guessing they did. But I believe if once the appeal process plays out, if this doesn't change, they're just going to let Assange go. Polly and Karen say it's under appeal. Yeah, that's not surprising. But then we just have to see what happens with the appeal. I didn't see the report of the appeal, but I'm confident they will appeal it. Oh, look, hold on a second. An appeal was lodged Friday. Here, Daniel Sanford posted this today. There was an appeal. Ben Lewis says the U.S. has lodged appeal paperwork, did so on Friday, now has another fortnight to hand in the more detailed info on the grounds for appeal. Hey, thank you, Jeannie P. from Canada. Thank you, Jeannie P. That's very kind of you. I appreciate your support, Jeannie P. And thanks, Jeannie P., for shouting out the moderators. Thank you. No, Diana L., President Trump does not have to announce all his pardons. He can keep them private if he wants. But if they're going to have an effect on something, right? If he's going to pardon somebody, it's going to have a practical effect, then it's going to have to be made public. But if he pardons somebody preemptively, like if he pardons him, if he pardons himself or one of his family members, if they're not charged with anything yet, that doesn't have to be made public. Pi Oh My says, I don't think he can just say, I pardon like he does with the turkey, probably papers to sign at least. Well, I would assume he just has to do something to prove he did it. If he just said it to himself in a room with nobody there, then he might have a hard time proving he did that later on if push comes to shove. So I don't know the legality of what exactly he has to do to officially pardon someone. James Weatherhill sent me this. Laurie Garrett, who's a science journalist, I believe. Science researcher. I know she writes a lot about science stuff. She says, after 2.5 hours standing in sub-freezing temperatures for my appointment, I finally got the Moderna vaccine. Hooray, but looking around, 90% of vax recipients are under 35-year-old white folks in downtown Brooklyn. I don't know why the people there were that young. They might be people with pre-existing conditions, right? So I don't know. I can't speak to her particular vaccine location. Oh, okay. Update about President Trump. As of 27 minutes ago, he was in the Oval Office. That's from Sarah Cook. Because the Marine was in front of the West Wing, which means the president is in the Oval Office. But Sarah Cook also posted, no more Marine. He's not in the Oval Office, but no pardons yet either. Hey, thank you, Sonic, for your support. I appreciate that, Sonic. Thank you. Thank you, Sonic. Flowers says the problem with secret pardon is they are hard to authenticate, so it might be risky to do secret pardons. Oh, I think you could authenticate it. You could, for example, make a video. You could make a video and take some photos and show what day it is. You know, you could do that. You could email it to yourself. Angie wants Tiger King to be pardoned. Dave NW, the reporting says the pardons are going to come out tonight. But they can come out anytime before noon tomorrow. Rita's Real says he wouldn't pardon Bernie, would he? Some viewers have asked about this. I see no reason why President Trump would pardon or commute Bernie Madoff's sentence. I don't know why he would. The News with Shepard Smith says attorney James Craven says he sent letters to try to get Bernie Madoff's sentence reduced. So I see no reason why that should happen, why it would happen. Just to remind you, commutation versus pardon. Commutation reduces a sentence either totally or partially, but does not change the fact of conviction, imply innocence, or remove civil disabilities such as the right to vote or hold public office. A commutation can also eliminate financial penalties. A pardon is the expression of the president's forgiveness. Pardons are typically granted to recognize the person has accepted responsibility and established good conduct for a significant period of time. A pardon does not signify innocence, but removes civil disabilities associated with convictions like the prohibition from voting, including giving the recipient of the pardon back their rights to vote and to serve on juries, among other freedoms and privileges. Pardon basically removes all punishments. That's from NBC Chicago. For a commutation, you can reduce somebody's sentence without, totally doing away with the sentence. Well, I'm planning on covering it whenever it happens. Oh, thank you. Talk to Myra. Hey, Talk to Myra from Europe, somewhere in Europe. Thanks so much for your support of the channel, Talk to Myra. Ken Aiken, I'm going to do some sort of inauguration coverage tomorrow. I don't know exactly what it will be, but some sort of inauguration coverage on Agenda Free TV tomorrow. There will be. Excuse me. Look, the pardons could come out at like 3 a.m. for all we know. One of our viewers just mentioned, Christian Polly mentioned Peloton. I haven't heard about Peloton. Biden has a Peloton bike that raises issues at the White House. The bike could present cybersecurity risks. President-elect Biden, can he bring his Peloton? Says New York Times. The answer, cybersecurity experts say, is yes, sort of. Peloton bikes, they communicate with the internet. So, for example, you can do classes. The Peloton tablets have built-in cameras and microphones that allow users to see and hear one another if they choose. There lies the rub. The last thing the CIA wants is the Russians and the Chinese peering or listening into the White House gymnasium. The Secret Service and National Security Agency could make some adjustments to it. All right. I hadn't seen that first. I haven't seen that before. Annalisa thinks the pardons will be coming out before Trump runs off. Shortly before he runs off. Pi Oh My is wondering if President Trump will pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. All right, I think what I should do... CNN says Trump expected to release final pardons before noon tomorrow. That doesn't really... Hold on a second. We don't know. We don't know when it's going to be. I think what I should do is I think I should go eat something because I need to eat. So I'd rather eat and then be ready to come back on the air. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay? Does that sound like a plan? I got to eat something. So let me eat something. And I'll be keeping an eye out for the pardons. And I anticipate doing more coverage when it happens. But I should do that now. I'm getting hungry. I haven't eaten lunch. So it's time. It's time to do it. I really appreciate you guys watching this stream. Thank you for joining the stream. Be sure to subscribe if you want to know when we're coming on the air to do this coverage. If you're watching on YouTube, remember, you're watching Agenda Free TV too. But my main news channel on YouTube is Agenda Free TV. And that's where I cover like if there's like a single breaking news story, we cover it there. So there's Agenda Free TV. So subscribe to that too. Also, if you subscribe on YouTube, make sure you click the notifications bell and choose all notifications. Thanks to you guys for watching and letting me read your comments on the air and for the interesting questions and sending me news links. Thanks for helping me covering the news on the stream. Thanks also to our moderators. Really appreciate the moderators. They're all volunteers. They are fantastic. Give it up for the mods. Mark Helton, Angel Shark, Sarah 55. Much appreciated. Angie, Texas Legends, Brian in the Periscope chat. Thank you. Our Twitch moderators and our Facebook moderators. Krista Borden, Dan Lindquist, Bud Green, Roxanne Betke, thank you. Twitch, Idaho Star, Maddie Mags, Racing Neophyte, Tariag, Traveling Skinny, XXD. Thank you. If anybody wants to be a volunteer moderator, you can ask the mods for more information, and they can give you more information about how that works. Hey, big thanks to people who donated too. That is how I can do these channels and stay on the air and bring you news coverage 7 days a week. It is your generosity that allows me to do that, so I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thanks also, that includes the Super Hearts and the Facebook stars who I thanked earlier. Thank you. But again, I'm planning on covering the pardon stuff. All right. And don't forget, for the best way to get notifications for my channels is the Discord notifications. Sign up for those. They're free. Those are the most reliable notifications. It's very easy. The link is at the bottom of the YouTube video description, or the mods can post that link in the chat rooms. Nightbot was moderating too. Okay, thanks to our viewers. Hey, FT in our Periscope chat, I appreciate the comments. Any chance you can change your screen name? That screen name is a bit of a violation of the policy of our channel policies. I'd appreciate if you could maybe change a letter in your screen name. Hisenburn, thanks for watching. Dogs rule, cats drool. Harmonies. Rochelle. Pi Oh My. Smart Girl. All of our other Periscope. Little Boo Radley. All of our other Periscope viewers. Dave NW. There you are, Perry. Still kicking. Thanks to all of our Periscope viewers. And Clown Boy Robert. Hey, thank you, ShaftZX, for the very cool sticker. Thank you, ShaftZX, for the cool sticker and for your support. Much appreciated, Shaft. Thank you. Thanks also to our Twitch viewers. Sweet Agony, Shaggy, Guru Gahan, Cordell Jones, Renton, Lloyd Bonafide, Cable Car, George Kirby, Shea Butter, Captain Spaulding, Sea Swigum, Hexdrum, Sinfire, and our other Sergeant Pike and our other viewers on Twitch. Thank you, Twitch viewers, too. Thanks to our Facebook viewers, Twilla McCord, Barry Weil, Krista, thank you again for moderating, and Bud and Roxanne and Dan. Rose Markhouse, thanks for watching. Ron Dorlin, Nicolette Geese. Thank you. Darren Thompson. And our other Facebook viewers, thank you. Also, thanks to our YouTube viewers, Baby Shark, Rick Hoppy, Ravenwood, Melissa McQueen, LT, Curtis Cardwell, Notorious Jack Ripper, Upstate Zach, Nicole, Robin Neal, Jeff Curry, Donna Kay, Jason Russell Terry, Rick Hoppy Sees the Day, Linda Payne, Michelle Ryan, Mira Arvey, Shrubby, Keita G, Thirstine Shugs, Denise Horton, Mad Mars, Thriving and Beyond, Flowers, Tony Nagy, Sunshine, Arizona, Christian Polly, Reinders, Matt Machine, Maria Brouillard, Kimmy Rose, Jeff Hapahanguk, Karen Brody, Polly, Nicole Wilson, 3030 Tom Bomb, Lisa B. Sweetie, Roberson, and all our other viewers, Nurichi, Ann Salty, Kay Gebhardt, Pink Peppermint. All right, let me wrap up this stream. I got to eat something. Going to be keeping an eye out for the pardons. Follow me on Twitter, @Lookner on Twitter, for breaking news updates. And if the pardon stuff happens, we'll come back on the air. And we will have more coverage soon, I'm sure. All right, that is it for now. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you very soon with more live coverage on Agenda Free TV and Agenda Free TV 2.